Now, politicians and others here who complain about newspaper campaigns and columnists ought perhaps to count their blessings. The United States is covered in a veritable rash of polemicists. The most successful of them at present is Ann Coulter, whose right-wing rants with titles like How to Talk to a Liberal, If You Must, and Liberal Treachery from the Cold War to War on Terrorism have all become bestsellers. Her latest, Godless, The Church of Liberalism, has just been published.
That don't impress me much.
Variously described as the Paris Hilton of postmodern politics, or a Republican Michael Moore, Ann Coulter doesn't just like getting up the noses of liberal America. She prefers to smack them in the face. A one-time Senate aide, she's written 4 books listed as bestsellers by the New York Times, a paper she loves to hate. She's not big on nuance. After the attacks on the Twin Towers, she urged America to invade their countries, kill their leaders, and convert them to Christianity. She has since opined that the question is not, are all Muslims terrorists? The question is, are all terrorists Muslims? The answer, which must have caused Jerry Adams to finger his beard nervously, is yes. In her latest book, Godless, The Church of Liberalism, Coulter argues, if that's the right word, that America has banned Christianity and Judaism by law and adopted liberalism as its state religion. One of its proselytizing techniques is the use of grief-stricken spokespeople who make political points, believing people won't challenge them. She then brands prominent 9/11 widows as witches, broads who are reveling in their status as celebrities. I've never seen people enjoying their husbands' deaths so much. Ann Coulter's invective has led some on the right of American politics to ask the old question. With friends like this, and Ann Coulter joins us now from New York. Your publishers gave us Chapter 1, Ann Coulter. I've read it. Does it get any better?
Apparently a lot of people think so.
Well, I mean, I simply don't understand some of the premises in this. For example, you describe Darwinism as the liberals' creation myth.
Yes.
You believe the world was created in 6 days, do you?
No, that is not the only alternative to
what is your
us sharing a common earthworm.
Yes, what is your alternative?
The point is that Darwinism, I'm a critic of Darwinism. I think I could be a restaurant critic without having to start my own restaurant. I'm describing Darwinism, and the only problem with it is it's an illogical, tautological theory. The evidence Darwin said would be there is not there, and in fact, a lot of evidence contradicts it. Other than that, it's a fine theory.
Do you have an alternative?
No, I think I just said. I'm just talking about Darwinism not being true, and yet it's taught as if it's science in the public schools. It is
right.
a belief, a faith belief, without any evidence to support it.
Now, you say that liberalism has become the state religion of America, and yet, looking at America from this side of the Atlantic, and you look at, your government's ban on embryonic stem cell research, for example, or we look at the postures of the Bush administration on matters like gay marriage and so on, that is not how it seems.
Well, in the public schools, for example, the government schools, a reform rabbi can't stand up and give a non-sectarian prayer at a high school graduation. Just this weekend, the valedictorian of a high school was giving her valedictorian speech, and the moment she mentions God, she wanted to thank God, the microphone was yanked from her hands. She couldn't continue. The audience obviously was upset by this, but that is the official policy of the government. We can't have even moments of silence because the children might pray. But at the same time, you have recycling, global warming, safe sex, taught, and children being baptized in it through government-paid teachers. They are baptized in the religion of liberalism for 6 hours a day, 12 days a week in Los Angeles. Just recently, a friend told me that his kindergartner came home crying, angry at his mother after his first day of school, not even a couple of weeks into it, first day of kindergarten, asking his mother why she had put garbage in his lunch pail. Why did she send him to school with garbage? And the teacher had instructed the students that the plastic that the sandwich was wrapped in goes into landfill, so it's garbage, and only children whose lunches came in Tupperware would get little smiley faces for being friendly to the environment. That's just a crazy religious belief.
Well, on this question of the environment, you have a remark here. Environmentalist energy plan is the repudiation of America and Christian destiny, which is jet skis, steak on the electric grill, hot showers, and night skiing.
Yes.
You honestly believe that?
Did you have a question?
I'm asking you whether you honestly believe that.
Yeah, I believe everything in the book. You can
Right.
set all those
You
questions aside. Do I believe what I wrote?
All right.
Yes, I do.
So you also believe there is some sort of liberal hegemony in the mass media, do you?
Yeah, that's 3 books back.
Yes,
though.
okay.
And I won that debate.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, you're appearing on ABC, NBC, now you're on the BBC. I just don't see how this argument stacks up.
No, you're right. And with a warm introduction like you just gave me, no liberal hegemony there.
All right, let's talk about warm words. Talk about your description of the widows of 9/11. Do you want to withdraw any of those comments?
No, I think you can save all the do you want to withdraw questions, but you couldn't quote me accurately. I didn't write about the 9/11 widows. I wrote about 4 widows cutting campaign commercials for John Kerry and using the fact that their husbands died on 9/11 to prevent anyone from responding, though I suppose you could say I'm wrong about that, because there you have it. I've criticized them. There hasn't been a peep about it.
But what do you make of the comment of someone like Bill O'Reilly of Fox News, who says that kind of vitriol is, as he puts it, mean and counterproductive to the right-wing cause?
Obviously, I think he's wrong, or I wouldn't have written it. Like I say, I believe everything I wrote in my book, and I'd write it the way I wrote it. Even with the strong encouragement of Bill O'Reilly, his own Latin American poll showed that most of his viewers, certainly most of the people who responded to his poll, which he kept open for a week, agreed with me, with 72% supporting.
So you have
much higher in other polls.
You have no anxiety that many people will just look at this and find it so extreme and so absurd that they won't countenance a more reasoned critique of the liberal establishment as you see it?
The more reasoned critiques, as you put it, aren't the #1 book in America, and mine is, so I think I'm doing just fine.
Okay, Coulter, thank you.